Welcome Techies King. You have the honor of being...
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. It's me. I'm a cartoon. Let's play cartoon games. No, we're going to play Lego. I'm strongly considering what Samus said yesterday, and that is, let's just make this into a Lego stream. You know, the whole thing, top to bottom. Why fight it anymore? You know? Like, honestly, if I'm just going to enjoy Lego at all times and it's fun and there's like 7,000 Lego games, then why not just embrace it? Why not just be okay with the fact that I'm a Lego streamer from now on? I should be okay with that. Good to see you guys. Hopefully you are well. I'm sorry that I'm late. It's the same as usual. It's just like every other streamer, right? It's like I tried to start it, it didn't start. I futzed around with it, I broke it, I put it back the way it was. Then it started working for no reason whatsoever. Absolutely inexplicably decided to work, and now we're here. So I'm sorry. I was trying to squeeze in some stuff right before I started. Like I was trying to squeeze in ordering the plane tickets and putting together all the everything. Like I was just trying to do too much too quickly. I was like, okay, we can launch the YouTuber today, or the VTuber today. I think I may have figured that out, and then I didn't. And then I'm like, oh well, that was a waste of time. What are you gonna do? It's not a big deal. I went looking through all the different. Hey Blanco, I went through looking through all the different hotels. They're all full. Except for one. All right, I'll stay at that one then. So that's kind of exciting. I wasn't expecting them to all be full, especially considering, like, it's not a huge event, but Florida is a pretty big deal, and it's an event, and you go to Orlando, there's going to be people there, and I guess it's also like start of winter, so people are going to go and try to get away from the cold for a bit. That would be a time to do it. I don't know. But I just know that for me, I was a little surprised that there was so many booked hotels. But I'll do it right up the stream. Actually, I had to end stream early because we're going to go to. I have a meeting with a friend. It's going to be really exciting because I've got. I haven't been able to see this guy for a long time, and I'm pretty excited. He's a good guy. I would like to say formerly my mentor. it's a little unfair because he's not, he didn't drop me so much as we just kind of stopped talking. And so that's, which isn't the same thing. He just had a lot going on, and I had a lot going on, and then we just kind of, he's a busy guy, I'm a busy guy, and then all of a sudden we just didn't see each other for a while. But then I sort of out of the blue last week, he contacted me and went, "Hey, do you want to maybe come say hey? Do you want to have a coffee?" And he was going to do it at noon, and I'm like, noon, not the best time, but we're going to do it at 3:30. So that means I'll end it at like 3. And then I'll, get ready, beautify, and then head over there. It's not it's a good thing. I'm glad for it. He's a good guy, and I'm very thankful for his advice. He's been through a lot of stuff. Similar stuff that I've been through. Not everything I've been through, obviously. But at the same time, enough that he gets it. How you guys doing? How's Blanco? Thank you very much, Blanco. I really appreciate you. That's really, really kind. Good to see you, Ransom. Yeah, I was thinking about leaving that song play, and then I was like, you know what? Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just start since I'm super late anyway. And I'm kind of glad I did. Okay, so we're building Lego today. Obviously, we're building Lego today. That is what we're doing. I don't think we're that far away from kind of being, I guess, quote unquote, done. We've only got a few bags left, and they're very small. As usual with every other stream, it's an AMA. So if you guys want to talk about anything, by all means do. I'm just gonna be building here. My intention is next week that I will be able to have a bit more deliberate content, Pretty decent day. Still a slight headache. Had a procedure done Tuesday, but good overall. That's good. The recovery thing, it's always, like, how's the recovery going to go? And they're always like, well, it could go either way. It could be the worst thing you've ever experienced or absolutely nothing. So, I don't know. It could be somewhere in between, too. Like, thanks. That tells me nothing. I'm like, well, we just don't know. Medical science, man. It's something. Hey, Ferret. Ferric, how you doing? We're gonna, yeah. I'm looking at you. Hale and Well Built is a very good start. Maybe that'll be like the theme of the channel. I don't know. How many times can a guy reinvent himself before he shouldn't anymore? Just eye pressure mostly. Something in my eyes. Like, oh, wow. So we learned about an eye thing yesterday, or it was the day before, where so someone from stream XtianNinja was talking about how she gets eye crystals, that if she wiggles too much, her eye crystals wiggle around and then she gets dizzy. I'm like, all that sounds terrible. I don't like that at all. Ear? I thought the Samus said it was in your eyes. I know you said ear. Okay, so good. Yeah, ear crystals. So that's something. It's not. The taco room would be the talk of reach if you gave away Uncrustables. The devil's ravioli shall not cross the threshold. I will. That is the line. That is my Gandalf moment. If that just won't happen, we will not be having the devil's ravioli in our taco room. However, I am a little behind that. I have to have a meeting with Ukulele because we talked about how we're ordering stuff and we want to make it a little bit personal, but it was going to be budget and blah, blah, blah. So I don't actually know where we're at when it comes to, sounds eerie. Haha. It sounds like we've got it built, like the pieces are there, like the individual pieces are there. However, I just don't know where my part is at, so we're gonna have a meeting and I'll figure all that stuff out, hopefully before the end of next week. I just talked to my dentist. My tooth is not bad. It's not hurting right now, so that's a good thing. I was really worried that the whole thing was gonna get kiboshed because I wasn't able to figure my face out, but it's all fine now. Gonna wear a taco shirt and hand them out. Rock and roll. Do it, man. Do it. I ordered, I think, like 30 books, 35 books, maybe 40 books. I can't remember. But I'm gonna have a pile of my books there for people to take a look at. So that'll be fun. Samus is working on coloring pages. which is exciting. Come on. Yes, individual pieces. That's the thing. Yeah, when it comes to reach, it kind of like this. It's very close. Like I could stop. This here is plenty, you know? Like that it looks pretty cool. I could stop. Everybody would believe it was done. I could just take the rest of the bags, throw them away, and nobody would notice. Like, but we want to make it the best we could possibly make it. Speaking of what is the ETA on those books arriving to me? October 20-somethingth. Soon. It should be before, it'll be before Reach. You should come to your house before Reach. That is the plan anyway. What is the eat? What is the eat of the books? Hand out shirts, hand out tacos, hand out shirts made of tacos. Zach's got the plan. This is a lot more flowers. We are just, there's just so many flowers. Jeepers. That's going to be a million years. That's a million years of building right there. That's okay. Where else we got to be? Yesterday was or a couple days ago was a really interesting time when talking about that sort of that Devo time, you know, with God, just kind of being like, pull back and stop tugging away, which is it was very special. But at the same time, you know, hearing that is you got to follow through, right? You got to be okay now that God has been very clear, follow through. So I tried to do my devos today and showed up and had a chat, but they don't always come as, you know, wonderfully and revelatory as you'd like. Yeah, it should be there. Shouldn't be a problem. Although Uncrustables, you guys have some weirder flavors down there, so maybe there's a better flavor. Of Uncrustables. Okay, what are we building? I don't know what's going on there. But feel free to, like I said, feel free to chill. I can turn up the music a little bit, and that can keep us company. And we can chat about whatever you want. I'm gonna, like I said, this week I'm gonna try to keep it chill. I'm not gonna get too crazy because I just don't have it in me. What am I building? This. Oh, okay. Green piece. Hopefully everybody's work's going well. I know that's a big deal. Is everybody else ready for Reach? Are y'all ready for hanging out at Reach? Is there anything that needs to be done before you guys get there? I've got my meal plan and ticket worked out, so that's something. I'm a little nervous about the talk because I wrote a huge pile of notes and kind of, you know, put it all together. And then I sent it off to the, you know, to my partner there. And she's a busy bee. So she has not gotten back to me yet. And I'm a little nervous that we're going to be on stage having zero practice. That would make me nervous. I wouldn't like that. Not saying that it's her fault. She's obviously got a lot going on. And plus, I think she is counting on the fact that she's much better on the fly, which I've been told I am too. Like every time I prepare too much, you know, or, oh, sorry, let me go the other way. Every time I don't play or prepare enough, I just go on the fly. People are like, oh, that was really good. You know, I'm not saying preparation is bad, but you know, I can over prepare and then guide a little too hard. You're gonna try to change your transmission fluid. Wow. Good for you. Pretty manly of you. I don't even have anywhere I can lift the car. I couldn't if I wanted to. I don't want to pay $300 for it. Well, if you could do it at home and you're able to pull it off, then that's always better. But if you know, it's only if you can pull it off. You damage your car because you don't know what you're doing. That'd be worse. Mother Goose is very accommodating and will make the talk feel comfortable. Yeah, no criticism, no shade thrown at her whatsoever. At all. I'm not. Definitely not a Mother Goose issue. It's a me issue. It's a me wanting to be prepared, over prepared, really work on it, get it all together type thing, as opposed to me thinking she's gonna, blow it, because that definitely won't be it. If anything, I'm gonna hold her back. I've heard good things about her. I'd like to think well, you're gonna find out, right? First time you take a car for a drive. Isn't Susie? He's not in my talk. He's after. So we'll give a talk, her and I, and then Susie is going to come after us. Is my understanding. If he's on stage with me, so be it. Say Livy. There will be, but we have, we were told that Mother Goose and I have 45 minutes, and 45 minutes for me to talk, for her to talk, for us to go back and forth, and then we're going to do Q&A. It's going to be, we're also going to have live Q&A, which is going to be a big deal, because that part could take a while, and, you only got 45 minutes, and these things are very timed, and especially considering how much stuff he's trying to do. There's no way that thing can go over. Yes, he should be completely separate. It shouldn't be. I would, yeah, there's no way you could get 3 speakers on stage like that and not have, absolute just catastrophe of crosstalk. Nothing would be said. Too many things would be said, maybe. So yeah, it's interesting that Jade is the one closing off the entire thing. It's funny because when I think of Jade, I don't think, guy who would do public speaking, but apparently he's a man of many talents. So good for him. Especially considering, he's very much about the small group, the intimate, the connection to the individual. So I don't really, conference speaking usually didn't go along with that, but that's cool. I'm glad for it. He's coalescing the whole thing, so I got to make sure that I'm doing things right for him too. Oh, I didn't put his ears on. The bear needs ears. Look, he's earless. He needs ears. Okay. I think I'm going to sit in the front row during your talk and just eat Uncrustables the entire time. 12 or 13. Well, then I'm hoping that they have nice bright lights. That is a saving grace when you go onto some of those stages, is that the stage lights are so bright, nobody exists. Just you and your notes and squinting. Which I'd imagine, judging by the little bit I know about Romans, is there will be plenty of stage lighting. I got him the notes because he wanted to make all the PowerPoint match, right? He wants everything to be all, super cool looking. And I appreciate that. It's nice to have somebody who's really excited about making the whole thing look good. And I like that. We have had a few, I don't know if the word disagreements, but differences of opinion when it comes to my talk. I'm like, okay, here's what I want to say, and here's the because we're going to be talking about different roles. Here's the roles. Here's the name of the roles. And he's like, those, he literally said, it's really funny. Those aren't cool enough. What you've described isn't cool enough. We have to make them cooler. And I'm like, yeah, but those are accurate. And he's like, doesn't matter. If they're not cool, nobody's going to care. I'm like, all right, sure. So he's like, these are now your titles. And I'm like, okay, I don't really necessarily agree with those, but you know what? You're the organizer. I'm supposed to show up. We'll work with what we got. You know? We'll work with what we got. The Uncrustables. You're going to bring neon Uncrustables? That'd be good. I'll be okay with that. I'll sit there and watch you glow from the inside out. This little Uncrustable of mine, I'm going to let it shine. I'd imagine that as I get more experience speaking at conferences and whatnot, that's going to be a thing, because there's individual like visions, right? Like you're working with an individual vision for what they want their conference to look like, and so therefore you got to work within that, and what the theme is, right? We were given a pretty broad theme. But fortunately, I literally just went to my book. And I'm like, this, it comes directly out of the art of digital influence, straight out of the couple of the chapters. Which means if you took the class, it should be semi-familiar. Although I'm not going to tell it the same way as in class. It's not like I'm reading out of the book. It will definitely be a little different. Is it going to be streamed? I would imagine it is, right? Like I haven't checked, but I would think that this thing is going to be streamed to the world. Are people going to be able to watch the events? So, because I remember, what was her name? Why doesn't my brain work anymore? Duck was talking about how she wants to kind of watch the watch the dip, right? Watch those, and which yeah, that'd be fun. There, ears. He has ears now. Aren't they adorable? The plunge. I'm gonna go get rebaptized while I'm there. I'm assuming any of you have an actual, have aim. You have to make it happen. It won't just happen. Thinking about whether stuff like that should be streamed. They're selling a live event. I would think that once it's full, right? Like there'll be so many things happening that are live that, you like, if you are on stream, you're going to be able to get the content. You'll be able to see some people milling around, maybe see some fun stuff, but it will be a lesser experience compared to being there. In fact, I would think it would be an advertisement for next year. Like how fun it was, we should really go, kind of thing. Like look at how much fun they were having. That's one of the reasons that I'm going and have been really hot to trot to go, is because I saw how everybody was just having a freaking blast last year. And I wasn't there. Which was, a bummer. My daughter, yesterday was so funny. Snack girl, I made that turkey, right? And I was like, okay, we're gonna make a turkey, and my wholesome, he's like, all right, I'm gonna go get Aowen, and I'm like, what do you mean you're gonna go get Aowen? Like, we're not having Thanksgiving. I just made a turkey. Yes, it's stuffed. Yes, we'll have, it'll be good. But it's like, well, she she's coming. She wants to be there. All right, fine, not a problem. So she shows up, and she actually, came, ate turkey. I made her do some dishes, which she hasn't done in a very long time. And then she went back to her dorm. I had to drive her back. And it's like a 25 minute drive to her dorm. It's like, it's not small. But it was nice. It was very nice. It would be a bummer if, because I would think a Wholesome is, I would say, a very nostalgic guy. He doesn't look it, like he's such a modern kind of dude, and he's got lots of tech knowledge and all that stuff. But when it comes down to it, he's very traditional. He really likes what we do, and we got to keep doing the thing that we've done, and why didn't we do it this year, kind of thing. Probably good to not go and see how Reach worked itself out. Yeah, he got family values. There you go. That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. Which, I mean, that's terrible. I mean, is it terrible that I didn't think of it, even consider it? Didn't even cross my mind? Is that bad? I need 8 yellow flowers. Okay, then we're going to build yellow flowers. I don't know. I just saw it as a turkey. When? We're gonna put it near where you guys can see it. When? Probably worth it. Remember turkey dinner in residence? The turkey was around exactly 50 light dark meat straight up the middle. How did that work? Like pre-tubed? I went to college, it was 4 hours away. 20 minutes sounds like a cross town. Yeah, well, it's nice. When I went to college the first time, I was 6 hours away, and it wasn't good. Because when I first started in college, I went and I was 17 years old. Like, I remember I graduated early and was off to tech school and to learn computer engineering and all that stuff. And I was way too young. I didn't have the discipline because I had never had to study a day in my life, which means I didn't have the desire to go to school. It wasn't fun. I didn't have anybody to make me go. And it was just, dude, yeah, it wasn't great. And so by the time I got back after, for Christmas, I had been very lonely the whole time. I didn't know it, right? I didn't know it because it's not something I'd really emotionally kind of processed. But without question, I was super lonely. And I came back and, my mom's like, "How are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, I'm not doing great. How's your grades?" "They're really bad." It's like, "Well, do you want to come home?" I'm like, "No, I'm sure in the second semester it'll be better." It wasn't. And then I flunked so hard. Nobody has flunked harder than me. Took me 30 minutes to bus to the same college. I live in town. Yeah, the bus, man. My daughter, she took a bus all the way to church one day. Took a bus all the way to the hospital to visit her mom. Like she jumped on that bus. Actually, she was a little hero at one point. She had a friend. She said she was walking around with a friend, and actually, it wasn't a friend. It was an acquaintance. Not even. And then that person started to feel bad, and she's like, "Okay, well, do you want me to help you? And like, do you need someone to take you to the hospital?" And so they got on the bus, went to the hospital. And in Canada, that's kind of a big deal because, it was late, obviously. It's always late. And then they had a chance to just kind of sit there. And then it was like 6 hours later, and it's like super late. And they texted me, and like, it's like, "What should I do? Should we leave?" And like, the doctors know we're coming. They said it's going to be another 5 hours. And I'm like, well, A, I would say that probably means you're not that urgent. If you've been assessed and they're not getting you in there quick, that's probably not that big a deal. B, if she's feeling a little bit better and you think that you can, get a ride, get her home, and get contact her actual doctor and get an appointment the next day, or go to the clinic on the campus, she'd probably be better off, because then she'll get care and whatnot. She'll be able to get some sleep, and she won't feel like absolute trash, right? All right, Jones, have a good one. Good luck with the transmission. Yes, exactly. Like she's right near where it's all happening, man. She could definitely get anywhere in town. It takes a while, obviously. The bus takes forever. One more. I remember when I would visit a friend across Calgary. It was 2-hour trip, man. It was always at least 2 hours, assuming I caught all the buses correctly. Yeah, with the college 3 states away. Yeah, more than a bus ride. I mean, depending on the bus. I did go home on the bus one time with the old Greyhound bus. I didn't like that because I was on a really late one, and we were on like the what they call it, the mail route or something like that. We had to stop in every stupid town and pick up some boxes. That was annoying. All right, we need to make these one of them. Will do. Second time I went to college, 7 hours. So the second time I went to college, it was only 3. I went in Edmonton instead of Calgary, which was a lot closer to my hometown, and it was a better scene, man. I went to a Bible school, which meant that things were a bit more chill. People were a bit nicer, and I was in dorm, which meant that I was close to people. I think that was one of my pieces of advice to Snack Girl was, you should if you're gonna go, stay in dorm. Meet some folks, have some fun. It's a secular dorm, like obviously it's not a Christian, not a Christian college, meaning there's some rough dudes there. She's like, yeah, there's drugs everywhere. Yo, thank you, much appreciate the subs. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. Was that doubled? Did you hear that twice? Hopefully not. Thank you for the sub. Very cool. Thanks for using Prime. They made 8 of those, 9 of those, and 1 of those? Do you want more of those? No? Okay. Yeah, I went and dorm was great. Like, dorm was great. Now she said, yeah, there are drugs everywhere, Dad. Like, just everywhere. And we agreed. We were having a chat last night. She's like, with all the stuff she's been through in her life, if she's, she's like, if I let myself decide that drugs were a good idea, I think I'd be in real trouble. Right? And I'm like, yeah, probably true. Probably very true. Because I say the same thing about like drinking or whatever, is that, I've told my kid, like, what if I like it? Right? What if I take a drink, or I smoke something or whatever, and suddenly I feel a lot better? What then? That sounds really dangerous and not good. Don't you think? Where's that go? Oh, it goes over there. Okay. And maybe that sounds foolish to say, but I think it's true. I there are times where I'm very uncomfortable, shall we say, and I think that if there's it was a way for me to just magically feel better, even though the next day would feel worse, it would be very tempting. So I don't. And she said something similar. Especially considering she's seen the effects of weed on her friends. freaked her out a little bit, as it should have, because substance abuse is part of our family story now. Okay, that didn't work. Try another tool. I don't think substance abuse is, I think everybody probably has a something to do with it, like as in like they've seen it somewhere because it's so prevalent. Get on there. All right, we'll do this one at a time. Ta-da! Scalpel. I'm using a scalpel to do Lego. How about them apples? Okay, and then I did that one. Now I got to do that one. Where is this one supposed to go? Oh, okay. That goes here. That's wild, dude. Look at this. There's like a lot going on, man. Right there, like all that. So many flowers I'm building right now. I feel like I'm sitting in an elevator. What? In what way? Are you getting vertigo? Because that's no fun. I hear that's no fun. It's not like being on a roller coaster everywhere you go. It's more like feeling gross. Oh. Yeah. Well, every time you hear a little bit of bossa nova or this kind of beat, yeah, it is very hold music-y. But that's why. That's where it came from. Just being chill. Okay, I only need 2 of the flowers this time? All right. I know when I work, like when I do like writing and I sit down and I do, sitting in here, it is always soft cafe jazz, just this stuff for hours on end, because it's non-intrusive. It allows me to concentrate. I'm not like, there's no lyrics to distract me, that kind of stuff, right? Cha-cha-cha. Yeah, we need more cha-cha-cha. Where's the cha-cha-cha? I hear bossa nova. I always hear the Elvis song. Bossa nova. Because I'm old. I grew up in a small town. And in my small town, we had one radio station. And we didn't even have FM. We had one radio station. And it was AM. So it had to cater to everybody. And that meant it would cater to the country fans and the pop fans and we had, like community radio stuff. I remember there's something called Swap Shop where people would just call in and be like, "Hey, I got this hunk of junk. Anybody want it?" And then that would be the whole show, like an hour of people being like, "Hi, I have a this," And I remember, I used to actually like listening to Swap Shop. It's kind of fun, actually. It's like an auditory garage sale. But that also meant that, like there was also oldies on there. So I feel like I grew up in a very, I don't know, I'm not going to say eclectic. It was still AM radio in a small town, but sort of a very eclectic feeling anyway. Our local AM station was top 40 before and after school, country in the daytime, CBC affiliate at night. You know what? That actually probably was what ours was. Except we had the local stuff too. I remember the Access Network when I was growing up. That was a big deal. Like when I was growing up, we had CBC, and that was like it, man. And then for I don't know when it happened, but all of a sudden we had something else. We had Access, and it was like Access Network. I'm like, oh, cool, a new channel. That's awesome. Turned out it was the local education channel. So for anybody who was like taking classes at the local like whatever school, you could watch your classes on there, which I didn't want to do, quite frankly. That was dull. And then I think the next one we got was YTV, Youth Television. And I think that was because that was free. Then we got ITV, and then we got a couple more. CTV, Canada TV. And then we got cable. That was something. Although all of the cable when I had it was from the States. Like all the channels were from the States. Watching someone talk was dull. Yeah. Imagine if they were just like a picture of a cartoon yammering on about absolutely nothing in particular. Yeah, so it was all from the States. It was all American commercials, like places like Seattle. Like I could, probably if I would have went to Seattle, I could have taken you to any of the laundry shops and known exactly who was there. Crazy Johnny's, appliances and like that was none of it was anywhere close to us. Like not like Seattle was close. Subject J. But we got to watch ABC's, what do they call that? Friday, TGIF. That was my favorite thing in the world. And such a unique programming thing. I wish they'd bring it back because it was so cool. What they would do is they'd have a programming of like, I don't know, 6-7 shows, half-hour shows, all like series, all like the same characters and whatnot. But what they would do is they would have one of the characters play, like, well, not one of the characters, one of the families, the fake families, they would come watch TV with you. And so you'd be watching a show, and then all of a sudden, during the commercial break, the same people would be like, or whatever, would be like, hey, yeah, that was a pretty cool part of that show, wasn't it? Yeah, that was neat. And they tell a little joke and whatnot. And it was like, on that Friday night, you weren't just watching TV, you were hanging out with like the characters on the show, which was very fun. Yeah, they don't do anything like that. I don't know if anybody does anything like that anymore. YTV was cool because they had the VJs. They didn't have they had VJs. Thank you, appreciate being a bot. And so they would do the same thing. You'd be watching along with them. And they'd be like, yeah, so that was pretty cool. And what's coming up next is, and it was neat. I just think that's really cool. They should do it more. But then I don't watch a lot of TV, real actual TV. So maybe they do. Okay, that was that. Anything else? That's a lot of flowers so far, dude. And we're not even close to done plugging them in. Okay. What are we gonna do here? Got the little spiny, weird looking thing. Where's that go? Into a leaf. Who could have seen that coming? Just hanging, man. I appreciate that. That's fun. I'm literally looking forward to a turkey sandwich. All I can think of right now is, man, I can't wait to have a turkey sandwich. Freaking love turkey sandwiches. This goes on here a little bit sideways. Wow, it is so not easy to put these on. There we go. Was terrible, but that's how it's going to look forever. Yellow flour. Adjust the surrounding space while assembling, and then rotate. Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did without any instructions. I'm so smart. But man, what a fiddly thing. Actually, I'll show you. Let me show you something. This is a future build that we're going to be doing. It's got how many? I think 1,000 pieces. How many pieces does this have? It says somewhere. But this is a future build that we're going to do, and it doesn't have a lot of pieces, but there was one that looks similar, but it had, I think, like 5,000 pieces. And I guarantee 3,000 of them was the flowers on top. It just was endless flowers all over the top of it. And I thought about getting that one. I'm like, oh, that might be fun, have a project that would go for a little while. But after doing this, I'm like, that would have been tedious. Tedious, I think, is the right word. Torturous? Yeah. I actually have I shown you guys what I have? Let me show you. So I was looking for deals on these things at various stores and various shops online, and it was pretty cool. I was able to find some really, really cheap ones. Some of them were kind of wrecked, but you know what? They show up, and the Lego still works. So I've got these little ones, right? So that's a little tiny little donut shop, and it's going to be really small. Like this, how many pieces is that? Not very many. 206. For comparison, I think the one we're building right here, is 1,077. Yeah. So this is like a fifth, not even, of that piece. So we got a little donut shop, and then I was able to buy like the whole set for very cheap. A little burger shop. Now ask me where I'm going to put all these things, because I don't know. Old dream shop, which I assume means it's a flower store. Flowers. And then chicken, the KFC, the MKFG, a little mini Lego. Yeah, Main Street. You're right. I just got to figure out where to put them. I'm all out of places to put stuff. This is, what is that? Oh, it's another coffee shop. It's blue. What is that? Is that a dumpling? A cookie? It must be a cookie. That's kind of cool. I got this one. And that is boba, obviously. Love me some boba. And then get bigger ones. I got this one, which was like a cyber synthwave thing / I don't know. It's purple, so I'm kind of a sucker for it. What's that thing on top? Looks like a baby bottle. Oh, it's more boba. It's more boba, but it's gonna be bigger boba. Sup, Jove? And then there's this one, and that's obviously it's popcorn. That one looks really cool. I'm looking forward to that. Actually, there's way more pieces than the other one. That one had 200. This one is 306. Probably because they gotta assemble all the popcorns. And then last but not least, is this little lemonade stand. A duck walked up to a lemonade stand, and then they glued him to the top. So we have lots to do. And so when Samus said yesterday, hey, you should make your whole channel Lego, and I know that it was being, funny, but I could make my entire channel Lego for probably the next year and a half. I got the games. I got so many games. So many Lego games that we could play. Visitor says hi to you. Well, hello, visitor. Good to see you. We're building Legos today. We're assembling flowers. I'm being more of a florist than a Legoist. Okay, I don't know how that's gonna fit. There's not enough finger. My tiny little raccoon-like hands are not enough. Get in there. Ooh, that was close. Left-handed scalpeling. What a genius move. I'm gonna cut my finger off. Fiddlesticks. I need an actual trained raccoon. That actually probably would help. It's so teeny tiny. It's so small. I can't even get a good grip because it's also slippery. Oh, that's not going in anytime soon. Come on. Work with me here. Nope. Just lay there. Why don't I just lay it there? Nobody will know. Unless you shake the building, in which case all the pieces will fall out. And then they still won't know. Get in there. Come on, I almost got it. Come on. Golly. I was worried. I was thinking about taking off a flower, but I was worried that it would not work properly if I did that, and then it'd all break off, and I don't know. Get in there. I don't have the leverage, probably because there's a taller flower in the way. I did it. A less sharp tool? No. I need the sharpness to get into the little fiddly bits. You crazy? I have a less sharp tool. Hold on. I do. I have this. I have my graduated May 2004 letter opener, which is less sharp. But scalpels are more fun. Nobody ever says, letter opener. Nurse, get me a letter opener. I get to assemble some kind of wacky looking vine. Fun. And that's on this side. Okay, cool. All right, Oh, cool. All right, so it's this. Oh, that's just one piece? Oh, I thought I'd be able to assemble it. Okay, no. That goes right here. Such a weird spot. Click. And then a flower gets stuck in the side of it. Oh, weird. Interesting. A white one on the bottom. Does it really? Hold on, let me just remove that. Can you fit a white thing in here? Imagine Cloud calling his Buster Sword a letter opener. A letter opener. I'm trying to think if there's a good pun there. I don't know enough about Final Fantasy to be able to make a good pun. More like a opener. I don't know enough about it. Like, I didn't even finish Final Fantasy 7. I was gonna. The plan was to, but then I just didn't. I wonder why. I actually do know why. It got difficult at the that one boss that I had to beat in a specific way. I could beat him, but it was like, no, you beat him wrong. You have to beat him a different way. And then I just got frustrated. There you go. See, little plant right there, right there. Isn't he attractive? Isn't it cool? That's what I did. Getting defeated by a letter opener, very demoralizing. Well, the Buster Sword is it's cool looking when you're carrying it around, but really it looks like more like a club than a sword. Big sharp club. I think we did it. I think we can move on to whatever that is. I think it's a pot. I think it's a potted plant. Defeated by a spoon? That would be a shame. Then who would you tell? Like, that's not a story you could tell. Be like, once upon a time I was completely defeated by someone wielding a spoon. Why a spoon, brother? So it was just outed herself? Yeah, okay, now you gotta tell the story. I complained to my mom, and it was my sister, and we were in elementary. Okay, all right. The story is coalescing. Your mom came at you with a spoon? I could see a wooden spoon. Like a big old wooden spoon. My grandma used to have one hanging on the wall in her house. And you look at it, it was like, what's that for? Oh, nothing. But boy, if you got hit with that spoon, you'd know it. One? Do I need two? I do need two. All right. I remember what I was doing to annoy her, but we were eating at the table, and my sister smacked my knee with her spoon, and it bled. You sure it was a spoon? Or did she just say, oh, it was a spoon, I don't know why. It's funny that how memory works like that. I have a friend who, they said their dad, you know, when they sucked their pacifier for too long, apparently. And then the dad was like, okay, you can't do that anymore. So he took the pacifier and he pushed it into the gravy at the table. And he's like, it melted. Look, I melted it into the gravy. It's gone now. And I remember him talking about it, you know, and he told the story a few times. And then all of a sudden he had this epiphany where he's like, wait a minute. A gravy is not hot enough to melt a pacifier. He's like, all of a sudden he had this revelation. What? And he just realized he pushed it into the gravy and it disappeared under the gravy. And he just believed him for his whole life. He just believed him that it got melted in the gravy. And all of a sudden as an adult, he's like, wait a minute. Which is always a good reminder of being careful about your the conclusions that you draw when it comes to your youth. Your little baby brain may not be remembering things correctly. It was the back of the spoon, but the kneecap is very close to the surface of the skin. Oh, there's enough pressure to break the skin. Yeah, and I probably deserved it. Okay, all right. Okay, I don't know what I'm building. This seems like an absolute just wreck. This is one of those follow the process kind of situations, because I have like a steering wheel. Like look what I've made. It's just a chaotic piece of weird looking plastic. Okay, that. And then sticking it vertically, we put another one on. Okay. That was very annoying. Probably still am. Well, we'll see. We're gonna go to we'll go to Reach, and if we all get the sort of instinctive move to start beating you up with utensils, you'll know. Okay, I did that. Okay, good. I assume this goes on top. Yeah, this goes on top. Put a flower on this side. And then put this on top like this, I presume. Kind of interesting. Kind of looks flower-esque, flower-ish. Then what do? Where'd that go? Oh, I plunk it down by the sign. Back over here again. All right, cool. Pretty. Very pretty. I have a teddy bear. What's the teddy bear do? Where'd the teddy bear go? On the side of the eyeballs, there's one little hole, and that's where a teddy bear goes. Who knew? All right, cool. You sit there. Some bully took some kid and threw the bear up on the roof. Okay, now I need to put a weird looking vine on here, I think. No, the vine is short. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're not done on this side here. We need to get one more vine. I was thinking the other day about, speaking of vine, I was thinking the other day about YouTube and some of the weird stuff, the decisions that they're making, right? Some of it's great, especially for creators and whatnot, and some of it is just the weirdest ideas where you're like, what are you trying to destroy your brand, right? Like the AI thing. They're like, we've decided we're just going to tell everybody what age they are and what they're allowed to watch, and just without even checking with them. It's an odd choice. But then, and I'm like, but you think, is YouTube impervious to dying? And the answer is no. I think, speaking of Vine, right? Like, I don't remember back in the day, there was a site called Vine, and it was the most popular thing, and people really loved Vine. Where'd that go? Oh, it sticks out the wall. Oh, wow. Okay. Make one more. And then the story went, my understanding of the story went, that the top 10 people that were on Vine went to Vine and went, hey, we're basically the whole, most of your content people follow so they can watch us. Give us a cut of the, the credit. Give us, or of the money, the advertising revenue. And for whatever reason, because selfish or stupid, they went, no. and they went, fine. And then they went to YouTube, right? And then Vine, within no time at all, was absolutely just done because there was nobody there. And it makes me think, like how much power creators actually have when it comes to the platform. Like we have this sort of inherent fear the platform is going to die, the platform is going to change, the platform has all the power. The truth is, we are what they need. We have what they need. We do what they need done. Which means if we change, if we leave, if any of that kind of stuff, they're in trouble. I feel like I missed out by avoiding Vine. Maybe missed out by avoiding TikTok. Maybe, I don't know. I've seen a lot of Vine compilations. I've seen a lot of different things that people, my kids have watched Vine. My kids didn't even exist, really, when, they weren't conscious when Vine was around. So it's like, where are you seeing all this stuff? How did you learn about it? And it's just, they see compilations online. And of course, a lot of the stars that were on Vine are still there, like the really big names, still around making content. TikTok, I think it has its own, again, it's its own culture, it's its own thing. I think you'd like TikTok if you like TikTok, which is maybe weird to say, but I know when I watch TikTok, I just think it's so stupid. All I see is just a pile of stupid, and I can't get past it. Yeah, Vine, well, it was, the shtick with Vine was that it was 5-second videos. That was the thing. The videos are only 5 seconds long, and you had to get, I think it was 5 seconds or 7 seconds. And you had to get your whole, point across in that period of time. And there were people who became very, very good at it. Thomas Sanders is, I think, the #1 name, if you know who he is. At least he's the one I think of. But no, nothing big. Think of, was it Mixer that died? You think of Yahoo? Yahoo was everything. I know they're not dead, but they were a distinct competitor to Google. People are like, okay, is it Google or Yahoo? Google or Yahoo? And then all of a sudden, gone. And now I think they're a news agency. I don't know what they do. I don't ever go to Yahoo. Okay, now we're busting open 11 and 12. Just both at once. Okay. What are you? Oh, you're a person. You're like one person, all in a bag. Okay. I can make you all at once. That's easy enough. Let's build her first. I presume it's a her. Might be a dude. The face. I got faces and arms. There's a torso. Those are feet. What am I even looking at? Oh, there's an articulated little middle here. Cool. Get in there. Which side does it matter? I think it might. I think one side has an actual chest. Yep. One side is moderately more busty than the other. Too many arms, though. I feel like this is way too many arms. 4 feels like too many. It'll stick. This is what it looks like before you you figure it out. It just looks like a little stickhead person. And you fit their face on. Right? What am I doing wrong? Hold on. I built it out of order without looking at any instructions. I better go look at the instructions since I'm already halfway through. Nope. Is the person the last thing you're supposed to build? Literally. Okay. Oh, she's got a little apron. Okay, I'm gonna stop building now. There are things I'm doing that I'm not supposed to be doing. Okay, good. Let's just back up. Okay, looking at the side with the sign, we're gonna build what looks like an adorable little fence. That is an adorable little fence. Nope, it's the heart one. Oh, that's cute. I have acknowledged you as a person, and I'm now I'm ignoring you. Am I? Well, then behave yourself. Okay, this goes here. I don't think it's the right way to do this, or wrong way, I mean. There you go. Now what? Now where do I go? Wide white piece. Oh, I didn't open the bag. That would do it. Did I open the bag? Nope. I'm not sure what I did wrong. You let me know and I'll make it better. Or come up with at least a convenient excuse. There's a lot more pieces than I thought there was going to be. I'm really near the end of the book, and all of a sudden it's just like a million more pieces. But this is all the fun stuff. I love the decorative stuff. All right, now we make a little fence post. That's kind of cute. That goes on there. That goes on there. Well, I need to refresh. No wonder I can't see what's going on. You told me to behave myself, so I decided to misbehave by placing a poo. You have placed a poo. I have been defeated for all time. I will never rise from the shame of this defeat. We're defeated for all time. I will never rise. You've been defeated for all time. You will never rise beyond the shame of this humiliation. I will remember the quote. It will happen. It's in there somewhere. You've been defeated for all time. You'll never rise from the shame. We will never rise from the ashes of this shame and humiliation, I think is the way it goes. Yeah. That's a quote from Avatar. We use it all the time here. I just for some reason my brain isn't comprehending the whole thing. You've been defeated for all time. You'll never rise from the ashes of this shame and humiliation. Yeah, I think that's it. Ransom's the only one that knows that reference? You all haven't seen Avatar? What are you talking about? Everybody's seen Avatar. If you haven't seen Avatar, man, what are you doing? Go watch Avatar. One of the greatest shows, not even cartoons, greatest shows of all time. Truly special. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yes, the real Avatar. What other Avatar is there? I refuse to acknowledge any other Avatar. in there. Come on, help me out. Okay, fine. I'll take down the stupid fence. Maybe it was one step too far. Well, my kids, like I said, when we watch shows, we talk a lot, and so whenever stuff like that happens, we have to remember that quote. Somebody remember that. And that was one that stuck. Whoa, big words. All right, hold on. I'm fixing something. Anyway, if a company is too big to fail, can it still fail? Yes, absolutely. No such thing as too big to fail. Nintendo in hot water over Pal World lawsuit patenting gameplay mechanics that have been around for years. Yeah, that's just so wrong. It's a reach too far. Them trying to actually like patent things that are unpatentable, right? It'd be like patenting up, down, left, right. Like, just no. Xbox charging more but giving less and taking away. That one actually I think isn't going to be an issue. Charging less or charging more, what'll end up happening is people will complain, but they have a lot of people there that are doing a lot of math trying to figure out what the price is and what should it be and whatnot. And this wasn't an accident. They looked at the world and went, this is how much it can cost and people are going to pay it. And I'm sure they will. I don't see Xbox Game Pass dying anytime soon. It's the same thing with the idea that they can just decide that Windows 10 doesn't exist anymore and all the computers with Windows 10, too bad. They should decide. Why? Because they have a monopoly. I honestly think that yes, they're going to be, unless somebody comes up with an alternative, what else can we do? You have to. So I would say that the Xbox thing, I wouldn't say that was a foolish move. It was a tactical move. Maybe it'll work. I probably will. If YouTube, Amazon Big Corps were to make very bad decisions and not turn around quickly, it seems that they wouldn't feel the problem consequences of a decision harshly. Granted, you would see some pushback, loss of consumer revenue. Well, what ends up happening is, and you'll know, this is why they're buying everything. Microsoft is buying every other company. Google goes and buys every other good idea. Amazon goes and eats every other store because it allows them to make mistakes like that. It removes competition. There are laws against this stuff, right? There are anti-monopoly laws, but then, sometimes you can circumvent that simply by going, well, it's not really a monopoly. We're different and they're this and they're that. Like in Canada, there's you can say there's monopolies on cellular. Right? There's only 2 networks in Canada, and they subsidize, like the government forces those 2 companies to sell bandwidth to other companies so that other companies can exist. But it's still all built on their own framework, right? It's like having a store inside your store. And it's like, well, is the store taking away from us? No, people still have to come into the store to use it. So therefore, no, we're not reducing anything. Still working out in our favor. So I would say that that's one of the reasons Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, are so confident. However, for all time, there have been companies that got big, bought everybody else, and then suddenly disappeared within a generation. But at what point does it start hitting home? At what point are they not able to sustain their bad decisions? At the point, there is a consumer breaking point. At some point, the consumer, the us, we go, that is a step too far, and we're not doing that anymore. We can't. You literally can't. There is a sense, like, for example, a lot of people who know monopoly is, or not monopoly, know Amazon is bad, right? They don't treat their workers right. They're wasteful. They shut down companies and whatnot. But because of the economic situation, people feel like they have to. Amazon's the only way to go. I'll get it tomorrow, which is great, and it'll be cheaper than when it's a store. So why would I ever go? And so, yes, it's very convenient and very cheap. However, people do know in the back of their mind that they are not the coolest of people. And so, should there be an alternative? And especially if there's a local alternative, I think you'd see people change pretty quick. So it's not like they have brand loyalty to Amazon. But yeah, they're a huge company. It would be really hard to see them fall, but it happens. Furthermore, what does it take to get a corporation's attention or people in power? We can only do so much, but at what point do companies even notice, care, from money perspective or from feedback perspective? So there's only a few ways. One is the law, right? They have to see or be told or find out or whatever that what they're doing is illegal, and then it has to be enforced. That's one. Another one is from the consumer side. The consumer finally gets the guts or finally has the ability to say no more, no further. And you see that in the States. It's happened a few times, especially when it comes to war or, that kind of stuff. People go, we're not buying that anymore. Doesn't matter if it's cheaper, doesn't matter anything. They're bad, we're not doing it. And that can affect. However, the way that that has happened so many times now, that the economy, like for example, China is a great example of an evil that is just allowed to exist and allowed to thrive because evil people are more than willing to use their services because it saves them some money. That's the problem, right? And I don't know if you can get around that. Because as long as the evil people with that money will continue to partner with the even more evil people, it's really hard to change. However, the consumer does have power. We can say no. You can choose as an individual to go, we're not going to do that anymore. Look at McDonald's, right? McDonald's is an example of a company that had what you like legit. I would say, is it a monopoly? I don't think it's not a monopoly. Subway's actually got more stores or whatever, but McDonald's seemed pretty big. However, one documentary, right? That one documentary, the Super Size Me documentary, and all of a sudden they had to change their policies, man. They started changing the way that they work, changing what they build, changing how they serve, changing their menu, all because one dude, let it out that their food isn't good for them, and they knew that, but it almost became this stark realization of, wait a minute, maybe it is real and now all of a sudden that whole chain, all of McDonald's starts altering the way that they create food. Then they start putting out because of the uncertainty, before they were able to make it McDonald's and they could make it look fun and playful and cool and silly. But now, if you look at them, they're hedging their bets. They're being careful. That's why, and I was watching this documentary about it. That's why when you look at the way that McDonald's look right now, like the actual, like the buildings, why are they all gray? Right? Why they're gray? It's because they're easier to resell. The lack of confidence that McDonald's and Wendy's and everybody else has in their brand is the fact that McDonald's and real estate go together hand in hand. In fact, you go watch the McDonald's story. Like sometimes I think it's basically like the real estate is a big part of life there, and so they are a big part of their income, and so they change how things go. They change how they buy and how they build because they don't have the confidence that they're going to be around forever. So they're going to want to be able to sell that building. And if it looks like a big old McDonald's, somebody might not buy it. But if it looks like an office space, but also a dentist, but also any other restaurant, then okay, we can do that. We can sell that. So you go from when McDonald's had all these really cool buildings, really silly and fun stuff, to suddenly becoming this sort of safer. Now there's vegetables, now there's cafes, now there's things like that. Why did they do that? It's because of consumer. Because some guy's video, because it changed everything. And then the economy twists, and they go, well, or like COVID or whatever, and they start like, whoa, hey, we can charge a ton more, and they start charging a ton more for their food. And it finally wakes people up to go, wait a minute, why are you charging so much for garbage? I can go to my local diner, right? And I can get food better than is here for the same price. And all of a sudden that mindset starts to shift, and all of a sudden McDonald's can be a little bit in trouble. So it is possible. It is possible. It could take a little while, but nothing is impervious. The Roman Empire, right? Everybody thought that couldn't fall, and then all it took was everybody deciding they didn't want to do progress anymore because it was so fun to watch the. it was so fun to watch the fights and whatnot that they stopped progressing. You look at the rise and fall of the Roman Empire, and one of the ways that they talk about what actually happened was they got so into the entertainment and whatnot, and the same kind of thing with us is they actually stopped progressing, they stopped building, they stopped creating, they stopped governing, they stopped all of it, and then no more Roman Empire. It's just because they got really excited by all the stuff that they had made. Nothing is permanent, and everything is very, very changeable. So between government and the consumer, and then the economy, and competition, all those four things are going to contribute to the instability of any given company. Why buy out everything just to shut down? After shutting down, wouldn't that be worse? Now there's nothing versus at least something, but at least sometime the monopoly. But where is the breaking point? So the reason is because I would say hubris. It is them believing beyond the shadow of a doubt that they A, will be around forever, or B, don't care about the consequences of their decisions. So they're like, well, yeah, we know that we're destroying the environment. We know that we are polluting the world. We know that we don't care. We just don't care. And we don't care because nobody makes us care. So they continue on. They continue doing it. And why buy everything, even though that's going to be a problem for everyone else? Well, they buy everything because the people who are willing to sell. They walk up, they give them a pile of money, and they say, hey, give us. And those people are like, well, I guess I can give my giant, give whatever this influence to this giant company because I will get something out of it. They don't think I should probably not, sort of like the It's a Wonderful Life. Like, no, we're not going to let Mr. Potter take over everything. That's not going to happen. And yet, when Amazon comes calling and be like, hey, can we have your business or whatever? Also, they use really horrible business practices to try to drive people out of business. So for example, if you ever look on Amazon and you see a product and it's a really cool product made by like a private company or made by an individual or sold like sort of like an Etsy thing, but they have it on Amazon because they have that individual stores. What'll happen is Amazon will look at that, go, well, that's pretty successful, and then build it for cheaper to price out that company to the little person. And now that's why when you buy Amazon's version, a lot of it is just flat out stolen from other people. However, we as consumers, because of the economic situation we're in, we look at it, we go, well, I can either pay 35% more, or I can buy the cheaper one, which seems to work just as good and has as many good reviews. Which one am I going to get? We don't really think about the other side of it, the other end of who's getting affected when we make that choice, because we're only thinking of ourselves, and rightly so. We are also a factor in this thing. We don't have a lot of money to work with. We don't have a lot of play with our economy and our personal finances. Just don't have it. One person by a lawsuit that led to hot beverages needing a caution hot label. Yeah, I mean, that's happened a lot. I mean, there's a reason why when you buy a hairdryer, there's like 75,000 different warnings, right? It's because somebody did something stupid at some point, and it didn't say I couldn't plug it into the wall and then bring it into the shower to dry my hair while I was shampooing. It didn't say that in the book, and so there ends up being some kind of weird litigation. It happens, That's why you have all those things. You live in a very litigious society. Ours not so much. Yours definitely for sure. But that, if you ever actually go look into that hot coffee thing, it's pretty crazy, man. That person got really, really, really injured. Like it wasn't just, oh no, the coffee's hot that everybody's laughing at. It tore her up, gave her permanent damage. Like that thing was given to her and it was absolutely scalding, literally scalding. And it hurt her a lot. Feels like they're too big to fail. They could still fail in the right situations, but it takes more. Yeah, that's what I said. It takes multiple people, right? It takes multiple people. Like the economy can turn, and the consumers can turn. The competition can get better, stronger, faster, whatever. New technology can come out that's cheaper, that they can't keep up with, that someone else is better at. Or, another country can start producing it cheaper, and then all of a sudden you're buying from them. Like, there's a lot of things that can happen that can take them out. They're not impervious, but you're right. It feels impervious because they're so big. So building design is intentional to have a fallback plan. Yeah, basically. Well, at least that was what this guy was saying, and it sounded pretty right to me. That you look at it and like all of a sudden, like if you look at what used to be an old Pizza Hut, the Pizza Hut looks like a Pizza Hut. It's a big giant roof that looks just like a Pizza Hut. That's harder to sell. So now they're making it easier to sell their land. I think I just found a well-made Darth Raven cosplay for a steep discount on what it's commissioned for. If the deal works out, I might have 2 cosplays for Reach. So, like, as in, where do you find that? It's like an Etsy thing, buy it used, the whole pack? Or is it like you found it, like a piece of it, and you're going to fill it up? Like, how did that work? Just a few companies that seem like they aren't going anywhere for a long time. McDonald's, Amazon, Google, YouTube, social media. Yeah, so let me see if I can find it, just for kicks and giggles. One sec. Let me find a graphic for you. Here, check this out. So this is what everybody owns, right? And so it's actually a bit of it can get a little depressing when you look into it too far, because you're like, man, really? So like when you're like, I want to avoid buying from Nestle, right? Nestle evil. Well, then you have to avoid anything with Wonka, all the, Kit Kat, Oreo, O. Henry. You got to get rid of, drumsticks, nerds. Here's all the cat food that they own. Here's all the baby food that they own. Here's all the clothing that they own. Here's the watches and makeup and global different pop brands. Like this is like they own all this stuff. And so therefore, if you're trying to avoid Nestle, you have to remove a huge portion of the food and the places that you shop, because like it's part of your tradition, like, oh, Christmas we get the after eights. But at the same time, it's like, you're going to get rid of L'Oreal? You're going to stop doing makeup? So what are you going to do? Well, if I don't like how, say Mars is treating chocolate, right? I don't like how Mars is treating chocolate. I think they're being bad when it comes to chocolate. So I'm going to avoid all Wrigley gum. I'm going to remove all these different. Get out of my way. Oh my word. Right. So here's all the different, like there's butter, peanut butter. My point is this, that like, yes, you're right. A lot of these companies seem too big to fail. And especially with how spread out they are. Like Coca-Cola doesn't just own Coke, right? They own a zillion different things. Like all your pop. And it's a big deal. They own a lot. However, it isn't impervious to fail, right? There are companies that have existed in the past that no longer exist. I'm trying to think of any of them off the top of my head, and I can't seem to remember any. but there are some. Litigious, as in litigating, as in lawyers, as in suing each other. A very sue each other society. She had to have plastic surgery. Yeah, it was terrible. Terrible. Instapot just went bankrupt because they made too high quality of a product, and everyone in their target demographic bought it. Yeah, there you go. See, I mean, I don't know. Did they? Because there are other things you can do, other things you can make, right? Maybe they just, instead of being, they failed because they sold too many. They failed because they didn't know the next step. They didn't think through the next step. Everybody bought it, and what do they do now? So, there were places to go, and if you'd had a creative mind, they would have went, oh, just do this. I love my Inspot. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of my Inspot, too. It looks like R2D2, too. Oh, wow. Well, what'd you set your alarm for? I thought you didn't have school. Or do you have no school yesterday, but you do have today? Nortel, there you go. That's a great example. I was working for Nortel in 2000. They were expanding like crazy, even making people's cubicles smaller to accommodate more employees. Too big to fail? Not by the end of the year they weren't. I've never seen a company so big fail so hard. Yeah, Nortel, huge company. Employed so many people in the town that I'm next to. And they ended up, because of corruption in the seniors, buying stuff they shouldn't have, stealing stuff they shouldn't have, spending money they shouldn't have, everything kind of came around and bit them in the butt. All of a sudden, the bubble that they had created where they were shifting stuff around and whatnot was, it burst. And all of a sudden they didn't have any money and their company was gone. Poof, gone. And then everybody who worked for them was screwed, and they didn't have retirement, and it was all bad. Right? No such thing as too big to fail. And if it bothers you individually, you as an individual can make the choice to kind of say, I'm not going to shop there anymore. You can do that. Possible to at that point. It's not impossible. It is not impossible. It's just difficult. People can do it. For people say that it might be the 10 horns of the dragon of Revelation. They're what? There are no other companies in the entire world? Are they factoring in anything from the Middle East? Any of the giant oil people? Like, what? That's just stupid. Tell those people they're stupid on my behalf. Even taking one out of the question is such a mountain to climb, but even then, I don't see how it's possible. Well, it's a big deal. And again, if you got to live through some stuff and see some big people fail, and just kind of go, wow, I didn't see that would happen. Like Apple, for example. If you look at how Apple's going, they're producing a lot of stuff quickly, and it's not getting better. At some point, the brain is going to go, oh, I don't need another phone. It's not as good as the old one. The features that they're bringing out are dumb. When the AI bubble bursts, and presumably it will, everything will be AI, and then nothing will be, only the things that need to be AI will be AI. But right now, like your fridge and everything else, it's going to burst, and all the money is going to go away. NVIDIA will be in trouble because NVIDIA has built their entire business on providing graphics cards to AI farms, things like that. Like at some point, that's going to, just like the real estate market did. And then all of a sudden, where did NVIDIA go? Why didn't NVIDIA exist anymore? Why, and then some other company comes along underneath them. It can totally happen. Sears is a great example. The Hudson's Bay Company in Canada, was the biggest company in Canada for a long, long time. I think the first company in Canada, if I recall. And they just had to sell off. They don't exist. Poof, they're gone. Maybe not poof. It was a long poof. They tried to sell off. They tried to add Zellers. They tried to buy some folks to and change the way they did things. But it was a department store in a world of where people don't want all that stuff anymore. I found someone selling Facebook Marketplace pictures that look exactly like what listed in the Wicked Armor site. I've never heard of any of that. That's kind of cool. That's cool. I'd imagine, used cosplay, probably a thing, right? Seeing Facebook go down for a time, but somewhat still up. Well, again, look at TikTok. All of a sudden, the American government goes, no more TikTok. That's it. Done. TikTok in the United States is gone. This is it. Apple's a problem designed by committee when the big hits are designed by a visionary designer. Yeah, not that I'm not a huge super fan of Steve Jobs, but he definitely kept a tight rein on the what he thought was going to be the next big thing, as opposed to just kind of going, I wonder what the next big thing is. Let's see what we can do. And then over-promising and under-delivering. Over-promising and under-delivering was never really an Apple thing, as far as like they would stretch the truth, or they do silly stuff or whatever, but they never say like, we are now the revelation. The top in AI is the greatest example, right? Next time we do an Apple update, you're going to get the greatest AI in the history of AI, and they're like, and then it just didn't work. They just promised something they couldn't deliver. I don't think Steve Jobs would have let that happen. Canadian Tire money gone digital? Yeah, that's true. That's true. But they sell things that everybody needs, like tires for the car, right? And they have a lot of stuff there that is very practically necessary. And that's not true of a lot of stores. Like the Bay, for example. People aren't going to shop for... Like, they didn't sell anything anybody wanted or could afford. Sorry, quote unquote impossible. I don't think it's the word I mean to use now as making sense of possible, but it's hard for me to understand, comprehend, especially with how it takes to shake the foundation. Yeah. But again, we've seen it. We've seen it happen over and over and over. Unrealistic, unlikely, incredibly complicated, could take a while, yeah, but not impossible, that's for sure. I saw one post after TikTok was banned saying, if the government can ban TikTok this quick, then they could ban all corn, and it really speaks volumes to what they're doing. Well, they could. They could. Absolutely. And that's the thing, right? Like, that's why your voting is so important. To know who you're voting for, what they're all about, because you put a crazy person in power, and they're going to do crazy stuff. Make sure they believe what you believe. Can Canada fail? Yeah, countries have failed. And especially considering how, in debt and all the foolish choices for such a long period of time, being bought up by every other country in the world, at some point, it's like, well, we don't have anywhere to live and we can't afford anything. Plus, Canada doesn't own anything. And so therefore, we don't exist anymore. We can't make decisions because we've given away the decision making to other countries. Sure, that could happen. And then they decide that we don't exist anymore. Oh, did he talk about beaver market? Bottom recently fell out of the beaver fur trade. Yeah. Hey, man. People still need, what was it? Is that where ambergris comes from? I'm looking for a single piece. That's why I'm stuck. There's a piece that goes right in this hole. And I can't find it. Maybe we'll just have to move on with life. They were pelted by the beaver crash. Yeah, that's exactly it, Edgewax. Exactly. Har, har, har. Is that a good word? Impossible to unrealistic? I don't even think unrealistic is far enough. Impossible to you know what? I could even go as far as eventual. Everything falls. It's just a matter of time. Okay, well, I quit. I can't find it. It's not here. I don't see it anywhere. We will move on with life then. Although I have things I'm supposed to stick on there. What the heck? Did I put it somewhere dumb? Gotta be here, right? Is it in the bag? Oh, hold on. What's in this bag? A single flower. Not what I'm looking for. Was used in a flower? No, it's blue. It's the same kind of blue as these ones. You'd think it would stick out. I don't have very many of those. Yeah, well, again, I'm no economist, man. I'm just old. I've seen enough to know that no matter what you say about anything, none of it is impervious. Blue is blue. Here, I'll zoom in for you. Blue. But I can't account for my camera, your monitor, the internet change, or your eyes. So feel free to see what you want to see. I don't even see a piece I could use for it. I must have used it somewhere else. Must have. Because it's very specific. Is it this? No. Okay, I'm not going to get stuck on that. I am going to get stuck on that. That's the problem. I've already been stuck on it. 89% of Canada is crown land. In the end, it'll be provincial crown land sell-off. Well, like I said, man, you've got these big cities that are just chock full of houses and whatnot, not houses and land and businesses and whatnot, not owned by anybody in Canada or anybody who cares about Canada. And if you have places that your average Canadian can't afford to stay, and they're not supporting, say, the farmers and miners and all the stuff we're good at, like trees and whatnot, like you don't have that because they're also worried about technology and the environment and whatnot. Well, then at some point that's all going to catch up with you. We don't own anything. We don't support the economy, the actual things that drive our economy. We're not willing to put the oil where it needs to be, or put the rocks where it needs to go, or allow our dairy farmers to make, we don't care because the government seems to care more about either the environment or looking good to other people, or about whatever. They don't care. And then now who's going to start making decisions? Well, the decisions are made by the people that have the money. The votes are put out by the people who are able to afford to put out the commercials. Who can afford to put out commercials and convince the masses that this is a good idea to hire them? Well, or to vote for them. It's rich people. Rich people own the land. Rich people set the vote, and people aren't intelligent enough and aren't wise enough, aren't knowledgeable enough, and aren't old enough, and aren't retrospective enough to actually look back at and go, wait a minute, this is probably a bad thing. Because you've seen it every single year for all time. Vote for the same dummies, vote for the same people that do the same thing, that tell the same lies over and over and over and over. Nothing ever changes, nothing ever gets better. And for some reason, they're still willing to argue that there's some guy that's out there going to be able to change everything. It's not. It doesn't happen. In Canada, Justin Trudeau screwed it up so monumentally by the end, was so detested, done, that you would have thought that it would have been impossible for anybody to get in from but they just voted again. I was like, I'm sure the next guy who says exactly the opposite of that will, or he says the same thing, will do it this time. No question, right? It's got to be true this time. No, dude, and I'm not pro. I don't think conservatives are much better. They make promises they can't do either. They don't follow through on the stuff that they said they're gonna like. And at some point, when everything is owned by somebody who's not Canadian from another country, probably China, India, or the Middle East somewhere, then we'll have sold off the country. Okay, I couldn't have used it somewhere. We'll just move on. We'll put the plates where they need to go. Well, that's it. Like if you don't care, like if you practice not caring enough, and you're manipulated by people who are willing to if you're able to be manipulated by celebrities believing that they are intelligent enough or whatever to run your government, what won't you believe? Because they're just good at acting, they're good at talking, they're good at pretending. And you're like, wow, I'm sure that this person who is a selfish businessman and only thought of himself and, destroyed marriages and whatnot, and somehow is like, I'm sure he'll be different. He'll be great. What? I'm sure this evil woman who has been demonstrated to like bump people off and only has charities, but somehow is also a millionaire. Where'd all that money come? I'm sure she'll be fine. Like, are you dumb? We're all dumb. Well, yeah, that's yes, absolutely, Edgewax. You're dead on that. It's owned by the king or whatever. But again, because of the way the government is set up, they go ahead and do what you want, says the crown. And look at how they're running Europe, or look at how they're running England. Look how they're running London. They've been more than willing to give up vast swaths of the city to unscrupulous folks who don't care about their values and don't care about anything to do with their traditions. Now there are whole areas that you can't actually walk into anymore. Didn't seem to bother him. I'm gonna hope that I can use one of these. Oh, maybe not. I don't know what to pick. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to leave that alone. I don't get to do. I just get to add my croissant and call it a day. Where is my croissant? Croissant. Oui, la croissant. There it is. One more thing I want to ask on this, though, is how should this be viewed from a Christian perspective? You can only do so much. We can try boycotting this or that. What differences does it make on our level? Well, it's not about what difference it makes. Our job is to be faithful regardless of the outcome, right? We've been given a conscience. We've been given a brain to understand stuff. We've been given what we need to be able to make decisions that will, that are at least good enough. So the question is, in your individual life, in your neighborhood, with the people that you know, among the people that you can serve, within your understanding of economy and society, are you making the decisions that are necessary or that are good enough that you can live and be able to say, God, I'm doing my best? That's it. That's the question. If you can't, then chances are you're going to feel pretty bad about yourself and bad about what your choices are. And you're like, well, I only do it because and all that stuff. But if you're able to say, no, I make decisions based on what I believe is correct and what I believe that God wants me to do here with the money that I have, with the people that I'm around, to serve the people that I've been given. And that's enough. And it should be enough. That's okay. Well, I'll be streaming late tomorrow. Cosplay meetup is in an hour. Oh, wow. Dude. Cool for you, though. Good for you. Good find. I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's we living on the macrocosm, the giant picture of how the world works is impossible for the individual. God allows some people to be able to understand the big picture puts them in positions of power and whatnot. But for the average person, we can't live that way. We have to only work on the very, very small level. So are you obedient to the little bit you know? We need to be in the world, not of the world, but that doesn't resolve us not from knowing current events and helping the brethren in their sufferings. And yeah, well, you look at the way the scriptures write it. Essentially, it's take care of the. Hold on, where am I here? Oh, there it is. Take care of your family. Take care of your church. Take care of your neighborhood. And after that, what else are you gonna do? Yo, how you doing, North Hill? Welcome to the stream. Wow. Okay, hold on. That's chaotic. Oh, wow, that was insane. I'm sorry. That was that was a lot of the wrong noises there, man. Hello, welcome to the stream. Glad you're here. Good to see you, North Hill. How are things? How you doing, dude? Long time no see. Are you still playing Tony Hawk? or is that ship sailed? Thurston Day. There you go, Thurston Day. What were you up to today? I'm building Lego, so I'm having a hard time like fiddling the fiddle bits here. There we go. That did it. All right, stuck on, won't move. Very happy. Cool. Looks good. I can zoom you in. You can kind of see what I'm working with here. That's what I just built. And we'll see if we can focus it. Focus! Focus! Okay, back up. There. It's something. That's what I built. Crab gold? What's that? Yeah, I appreciate that. Hebrews 10. Oh, sick, man. Rock and roll. Almost to the good stuff. I like Hebrews 11. What do you want? Hebrews is my favorite NT book for understanding the virtual church. Interesting. Interesting. Can you explain that to me a little bit? What do you mean? The fact that there are, saints everywhere? Or the fact that there's, God is bigger than religion? There we go. I'm gonna put this back up because that really isn't working for me. It is so catastrophically in the way. We've not come to a mountain that can be touched, and yet also witnesses. Yeah. Well, that's the idea that Jesus is bigger than the established order, angels and religion and Moses and yeah. It's a very good point. I like that. Very good point. But when they're on toward love and good deeds is easily expected. That's true. I mean, I've said before that we can do basically like 80%, maybe 90% of the one another's in Scripture digitally, right? We can't do all of them. We can't fully, represent the perfect version of church, but we can do a pretty good job of representing the relationships that church is supposed to have, right? Like the way that we're supposed to treat each other. That is something we can do. But I've been to lots of churches, pastored some too, that were not great at the one another's, even though they were normal churches, right? They just weren't good at it. So does that mean that in-person church is better? No, it just means a better church is better, right? Saying that you can't have virtual church is kind of like saying, sorry, Paul, writing a letter as a pastor doesn't count unless you're there. Giving away a beanie. Oh, far out, man. Like some merch? Is that what you're giving away? 2 stools. And the flower pot. It is interesting. Like even lately, I was chatting with someone who was part of the traditional sort of church world, elder, old person kind of thing, and their thing, their basically was like, well, everything needs to ending at the church, right? A real ministry always leads to someone walking through the doors of a church. And I was like, well, ultimately, I believe that the best expression of obedience to what God wants is within the bounds of a healthy church, like a live church, because that's where we can do 100% of the one another's. Not everybody, A, can handle that. Not everybody's there. B, there are a lot of people who are hurt, and being transient is not a bad thing. But at the same time, it's if you see everything, every ministry from the perspective of the only way this is valid is if it leads to church attendance, you're going to delete a lot of ministries, right? You're gonna get rid of a lot of different important things like food banks, right? We're here to feed the sick, or feed the poor, feed people, whatever. And if you're like, well, we can't feed them unless they end up in church, well, that's not good. Or hospitals, right? Like all of the mercy missions. If they all require you to end up in church, then you won't do any of them because that's not what they're for. I'm trying to find what the heck. Where's this go? Oh, I'm missing a piece. Wonder how I messed that up. There. Well, that's cool. Little vine growing up. See? I mean, a vine. Right there. Still futzing around with all these little fiddly bits here. Crazy, man. We're doing this side. This goes here. But sideways. Oh, that's so annoying. Mini. It's so mini. Very small. I don't think I'm going to get this finished today. That's wild. I'm at the last bag. I could just call it done. Walk away. You know. But my completionist I don't do that well. So I should probably practice more completing things. Pink flower. So cute. And now I need to make another little thing, gravy. So that, and then cool. The 3 spines, cool. Wait, does that not fit? No, it does. You go in the middle? Is that even allowed? Really? Okay. Good to know. Good old Jerry. How is your lap? Has it recovered from yesterday's shenanigans? Did you get tore up and you get some feel better? Put an arm in the middle. You have extra arms after all. An arm? Yeah, I do. Could have just like a severed arm hanging out. I could. I think it might actually fit. It's funny. Okay, I made a potted plant that goes on the very front. So it goes right over here. Good gravy. You really got to squish on that. Really, dude? Okay, there you go. It really does. It presses up against the wall. Like, it's got to hold on tight or it will shoot itself off. Still raw? Bummer. Oh, making the scooter. That sounds fun. There. Lovely. Enjoy the view. What does the scooter look like? Okay. I have to make tires. I have tires. Okay. What goes in tires? Oh, these little circles. Neat. I used to have to make tires back when I played Lego. I remember that. Tire. Wheel. Cool. Oh, it even has a kickstand. Oh, that's fun. That's what keeps it upright. Click. And then click. And then where's the kickstand look like? It caught on a thread. Awesome. The coffee would sit in the front. We can't go back. There. Tire on. Doesn't spin. What are you? Oh, eek. What? Oh, eel? Oh, heel? I'm sorry, I don't get it. Okay, little black seat. That's fun. I think. I guess I could put the handlebar on. Supposed to be the wheel, then the way that you said it. Wheel. Oh yeah, wheel. Put a lot of emphasis on the H. I know you're here. Show yourself. I wonder where that was supposed to go. I made this flower some time ago. That looks like it belongs somewhere. But we've since moved on. There it is, right in front of me. Okay. Oh, it gets an adorable little box. Oh, that's fun. Okay. Cute. Little box. Adorable. That goes there. No wrinkles. Wrinkles are bad. There we go. Okay. Cool. So cute. But we'll hold it together. I get a little confused. Because right now, nothing's actually keeping it together. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm sure I'll find a place to put it. Or pretend. To be honest, I'm kind of done putting together flowers. That was just too many flowers. Not like they didn't show me on the box what it was going to look like, but you know, you don't know what you're quite getting into. Until you're like, oh, that's so pretty, and not realizing that they need a million pieces. Okay. Oop, wrong way. There, now I made the box, but like, how do you stay together? Oh, you go on there. Cute. Oh, you need a decal. Oh, wow. A little delivery van decal. That'll be fun. You look really small. Oh, you are so small. It's so tiny. That one right there. That's going to be fun. Oh, all right, got it. Oh, there we go. Come on. Squeeze in there. Make a square. Ta-da! There's another sticker on here somewhere. Way on the side of the bike. There is a little flower. No, that's another little paw. Oh, that's cute. It's like there's a little theme. Although this whole put your own decals on your Lego, that's that gets a little old. But then he, I paid like $30 for this whole entire set, so I could put my own decals on, or pay another what, $200? No, probably not $200. How much would this cost if it was Lego and the regular size? That'd be $200, wouldn't it? Be at least $100. Oh, I have to put a bear on a bottle. This itty bitty little tiny bottle needs to have a logo on it. Oh, hey, has anybody ever seen Hunter x Hunter? Anybody watched Hunter x Hunter? If it was Nan blocks, it'd be $100-ish. Yeah. They all stick together. They all look really cool. The design is very neat. Like, I have zero complaints, really. One can only look at it for so long, though. All right. Did it. Lovely. Okay. Now I got this little teeny tiny bottle. I've seen a Hunter x Hunter. I think I only saw the first couple of seasons. So we're on season 2. And it's been an interesting little talk with my daughter, because she is absolutely convinced that the clown guy, I don't know what any of their names are, is a pervert, right? He's such a psychotic pervert who's just into little boys. And so I'm watching this thing. I'm like, I don't see what you see. She's like, scene's coming up. And it was a scene where whatever the name of the main character is, he looks at the clown guy and he just gives him the most evil stink eye of all time. He's like, I'm gonna punch you so hard. And the clown guy responds with, oh, the way you're looking at me. And then the big graphic just goes swing. He's like, you're making me so aroused. And she pauses it, looks at me like, see? And I'm like, I don't want to be the guy like defending the pervert, because obviously he's not a good guy. But I'm like, no, he's a battle junkie. He's not excited because he saw a 10-year-old. He's excited because he saw a competitor worth fighting who wants to kick his butt, and he's excited for the fight. I don't see what you see. She was not. She disagrees. She thinks he's weird. He is weird, and he is gross, and he's not a good guy. I'm not saying he's a good guy. All I'm saying is that he's not that kind of bad. He's like, she disagreed vehemently. A long time. Oh, you going to a dentist? All right. Bit late with the annual exam. Yeah, I'm a little late on mine too. If it wasn't for the fact that I had actual problems, I don't think I would have went. Okay. Oh, it's upside. Oh, no, I put it on upside down. Okay, well, whatever. Nobody sees anything. It's very small. Nope, goes in the basket. Oh, look at that. Oh, I got another graphic to put on the other side of the basket. Whoa, they really want me to put a little decals on. It'd be nice if you could just crunch on something and that would be how we brush our teeth. Like, here, have a snack. It'll also brush your teeth. That would be nice. Jerry's so happy. Well, that's good. At least she's not tearing you up. Isn't that cute? What a cute little decal. It's all like just so neat. Little teeny tiny little accessories to make it look cool. That's neat. So this has got a little logo on it. The little head has a logo. It's got a logo on that side. It's got logos on this side. That's cute. Very cute. Oh, goes on the other side. I don't even know what I'm making here. Is that like an antenna? What is that? It's supposed to be another one. Okay, get a pink one. Put another logo that says bear. Just straight up bear. There it is. So small. It does. It looks like a Lego head on a spike. You're absolutely right. I don't know what it is. I feel like it's part of the delivery truck, but I think also just could be the sign. You know, like that's the company that they work for delivering their bear coffee. I don't know. I'm sorry, I keep working off screen. I don't mean to. Okay. This thing. All right, cool. One clear stick. There's a clear stick. Bear. It says bear. I'm gonna stick that on here. It goes beside. Yeah, I don't know what I made. Little yellow. I think it just got to be a lit up sign. Got to be. And this just sits in there. I hate that. It like this doesn't attach. It just rolls around. I'm gonna lose that. That's just a recipe for losing stuff. Okay. Unfortunately, I gotta call it for now. I am headed off to a meeting. I apologize for not being able to get through. There's like one page. That's it, and we're done. So I'll probably finish off screen, and I'll send you guys a picture on. There is a croissant. Yeah, we have a croissant. Un croissant sur la table. Where is it? Hold on. My stupid head's in the way. Croissant. Yeah. So let's rate out. Thank you for being here this week, guys. As I said, my plan is, God willing, I'm going to try to get the content rolling next week. Something simple, not like hours and hours and hours of conversation, but at least something to talk about that could bring cohesion to the stream. That's the plan. Thank you for indulging me this week. Thank you for being around. Thank you for allowing me to go on the sabbatical. Thank you for all your prayers, your support. Thank you for reading the updates and all that stuff. Very cool of you. I'm very thankful. I'm going to go off and talk to a friend now, like a really, really cool guy who I think is just, talking to him, I always walk away feeling better. Always, always, always. Let's go from one PNJ tuber to another. All right, rock and roll. Let's head over to Wilpog. Whatever the heck he's doing. I haven't rated him forever.